The Dogon tribe, what did they say? That the Nomo came from another star named Sirius B and brought them advanced knowledge of the universe. They came from space to this planet and sat with these people and taught them about star systems, planetary alignments. They taught them about every single planet in our solar system, the shape, the size, the color, the orbital periods, the equatorial periods, everything going on within our solar system and beyond. They had this advanced knowledge and still have it till this very day. They have this special ritual called the Ziggy, where they put these masks on and they do these alignment rituals only when specific stars and planets are aligned in space. And they do this with no telescope. And they know about these orbital periods of trinary star systems with no telescope. By the way, Sirius B can't even be seen by the naked eye on a great night. Because it's a failed star, it ran out of fuel, it became a white dwarf. Just like our sun is going to become a white dwarf, which is the point I was trying to make. Our sun's going to expand and it's going to shrink to a white dwarf. They even knew how much mass was in the white dwarf. You see, just because the sun shrinks down, it doesn't lose its mass. What happens is the mass is compressed and condensed so that one spoonful, if you were able to take a spoon and take a spoonful of the mass of a white dwarf, every human being on the planet together couldn't lift it. The Dogon tribe know this. They've made that exact statement. So they understand astrophysics on a level that we had to discover much, much, much later than them. But they knew this 7,000 years ago.
We are at the moment in a cycle of life where everybody, if you're just a little bit aware, you can feel something is shifting. Some people are not willing to maybe adapt to the change. Some people are not strong enough to adapt to the change. Some people don't know how to put it into practice in order to go with the change. It is my perspective. There will come the time, and it's not going to take long, where a natural separation is going to take place, a natural separation. The ones that are able to read the signs, that are able to go with what is happening, to adapt to the changes this world is bringing to us, they will move on to another world. They will move on to another area, to another cycle of us humans being right now here on the earth. And other people that are unwilling, unable, maybe incapable of adapting to the coming changes. It is simple like this. They will stay with the old world, which is about to end. That's the message. That's all what this is about. An old era is about to come to an end. A new era is about to come. This is worldwide happening. It's happening inside our monastery. It's happening inside of me.
NASA recently discovered something called X points around Earth and also around the sun. These are naturally occurring portals that open and close every single day all around the outside of our planet. The Themis satellite system discovered these portals a few years back, and they've been analyzing and watching them. Some of them create direct pathways to the sun and even to other planets in our solar system. So these are called X points. They exist all around the outside of our planet. They're where magnetic diffusion points hit and cross. Like our magnetic fields hit and cross. In some way, combining that crossing of electromagnetic fields with charged particles from the sun opens up a portal. So portals naturally can occur in nature. You don't have to make them artificially. So that's pretty interesting. All we have to do now is learn how to harness that power, and we can travel through space, and we can go great distances without having to put ourselves in hibernation pods and things like that. But now what's interesting is you look at some of the pyramid structures and also read the ancient texts. If you go to one of the Sumerian tablets, they talk about having something called a Du-Ran key. It was called a bond heaven-earth.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth a sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.
All right. Greetings in Lakesh. Welcome to our special presentations on the Lionsgate Memory Portal. Um, it's a great honor to be here. I am Neb Teharka Kanishkawak. I want to first start with the prayer of the seven galactic directions. This is a powerful prayer, and us being able to tap into the spirit of all the different directions to help us evolve through these awesome opportunities as we enter these portals. And what do we access in these portals? Our memory. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the prayer of the seven galactic directions. From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with the harmonies to end all war. And from the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum, Hunab Ku, Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum, Hunab Ku, Eva Maya E Maho. Ayum, Hunab Ku, Eva Maya E Maho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. All right. So we are so excited with having this opportunity to access what we call the Lionsgate. As I said, I am Neb Teharka Kanishkawak, and I am the founder and chancellor and master teacher at the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment. And although we're teaching a lot of classes, a lot of this is the basis of how we actually evolve through our process of enlightenment. And so when we talk about this, there may be some new people who are listening. We are tapping into the consciousness which goes beyond the body, which goes beyond the planet, which goes beyond the solar system. And I like to talk about the brain and the mind being two separate entities. And this brain and mind is really push ourselves in a position where we now know the brain is the hardware and the mind is the software. Now, I want you just to walk with me for a moment, because in expanding our consciousness, right, we are tapping into what we call memories. Some people call it the Akashic records, the soul memories. But really, when we're talking about consciousness, we have to remember that we have access to all the consciousness. That's what the process of evolution is. So once we came into the planet on the body, in a body, we are in a state of amnesia. I want you to picture this. And we've forgotten that we are spirits or gods in a body that can operate much greater than the limitations that these programs in what we call the matrix has shown us. All right. And so what I like about what we're talking about at the school is how to access that consciousness and those memories to restore our self-image, the self being the power of God, so that we can not only fulfill our galactic purpose on Earth, we can clear up our karma, our karmatic patterns, And we also can make our ascension. Okay. Now, this is a very keen time for this, because we got to understand that when we start looking at statistics and we look at mental illness, emotional illnesses, when we look at everything has an emotional root, right? So we need to be able to tap into something. And so the Lion's Gate is a huge memory portal when all of these planets are aligned. Star Sirius, I mean, you can look at these constellations, see they're aligned, and somebody could be listening and saying, well, what does that mean to me? How does that affect me in a positive way? Well, I'm going to tell you, when we open our mind to it, those planets are communicating in our mind, in the field of consciousness that our brain can process if we allow it to. And once we do, we can start sharing in that conversation about what kind of things we can do in this body that we didn't know. And so the Lion's Gate 8-8, right, is giving us an opportunity to tap in. All right. And this is when we start our calendar every year, the 13 moon calendar, based on the cycles of Star Sirius. So Star Sirius, which is twice the size of our sun, Star Sirius is brightest in the sky in the dog days of summer. So you saw the videos, right? So the light is communicating with the light electrical part of our body that's housed with our chakras, right? The electrical light part of our body births the spirit. The spirit in the human is the breath. That's the physical attribute. And so the spirit gives the energy of light elasticity to move into this body in different dimensions. But more importantly, what can we do in this body? Well, we can create, we can manifest. And so as we become in tune with ourselves like this, we are truly ushering ourselves into the information age, or from the information age into the telepathic age of our experience. And so I say, strap on your seatbelts, because we watch movies about it, but just imagine you being able to experience that yourself and have the emotional intelligence to be able to be effective, not getting weirded out that you have special powers that's lying dormant because we're in a state of amnesia. We haven't remembered that we have access yet. This is going to be a powerful session. So I'm just over the next 15 minutes or so, just go over a couple things to bring this to light, because now is the time to take advantage of our greatest gifts. All right. So with that being stated, let's go ahead and make some acknowledgments to the source of all creation, the Galactic Federation, ancestors, star elders, indigenous elders, the founders of the law of time, Baba Jose Arguelles, Ken 11, Stephanie South, Red Queen, Ken 86, Wanique Kimi Tahuti Shabazz, who's the opener of the cycle. And so these individuals have really paved the way for us to access this level of consciousness. And we got several books to tap into. We got several texts to tap into. We got a whole cosmology that maps out the synchronic order, where it's undeniable. Those of us that want to evolve, the path is there. The path is here. Now let's go ahead and take advantage of it in this portal into our memory. All right. So let's talk about what a synchronistic human defined as someone who is able to be multidimensional while unifying energy and light from the synchronicities of natural time cycles. So many of us are focused on artificial time cycles, right? Because we're following the Gregorian calendar, which really doesn't have much linkage to the cosmos and the cosmic cycles. Why do we want to tap into the cosmic cycles? So that we can access our cosmic memory. When we talk about this, people get like, what are you talking about? Well, scientists say that we have over 100+ million years of memory stored in the back of our brain in the cerebellum. 100+ million years of memory is stored back there. We're walking around with. And I've done some calculations and some guesstimations, and you know what? I would be willing to bet that we're not using 100 of those 100 years of memory. Why? Because we're in a feedback loop and we're using smartphones. The more we use these and the memory from this, the more or the less that we're going to use our cosmic memory unless we're very intentional about it. So if you are listening to this, and whether you've heard it for a while or you are hearing it for the first time, what you want to be asking yourself is, would it be wise for me to tap in to this memory if I could? Would it be wise for me to see what it takes to evolve? And when I evolve, how am I going to interact with my circumstances now? Because what I realize as we evolve, the more you evolve, the smaller and smaller your circumstances become. And you like, this used to trip me up. All right, but we have to be open and we have to remove the blockages. All right, so unifying the energies from the synchronicities of natural time cycles towards the holonomic, that's whole evolution, not just of me, but humanity. Mother Earth, the planet is evolving, and the galaxy is evolving too. And it's all part of consciousness. So we have the support beyond what we can fathom. And every time we set an intention, not only do we got trillions of cells that's working towards that intention, but we also have the Earth, we also have the galaxy, we also have the universe and the entire cosmos that is backing us or a part of the plan in its co-creation. And we have the power, as we realize this, to orchestrate that through this body. All right. So in looking at this, and correcting the error in time, we have to correct our concept of time. So many of us have done this at the school, but we have to understand that the Gregorian calendar is not a measuring stick of time. A mechanical clock or digital clock is not a measurement of time. That's artificial time. That's man-made time. All right, time is now. Time are these cosmic cycles where the planets are moving, right? The planet Earth takes a year to move around the sun. That's an experience in the communication between the sun and the earth, the consciousness of those two entities. And then we have the moon that is a cycle, 28-day cycle around the earth. Those cycles are informing us through the language of light subconsciously in ways that we can't explain. But it comes through the form of intuition. So in correcting the error of time, not only do we become more intuitive, and many of us are already intuitive, but we don't follow our intuition. And then, right, we also become more extrasensory and more telepathic in the process, right? So this is what correcting the error in time is. We're moving from the information age, right, into the telepathic age. In the telepathic age, we follow the synchronicities. In the information age, we follow the programs that tell us what to do and govern our mental. And so now the telepathic age of our existence is upon us. And this Lionsgate portal, we are in such a powerful position like never before. Because when we look at this, you're going to see, for those of you who follow the cosmology, or maybe you don't follow the cosmology, you will find that when we start bringing in the kin and the energies of the kin that we're in, we now are going to be able to tell a story about what we should be doing as of right now. As of right now, what should we be doing? Right? So we're in a very, very, very powerful position. So let's go ahead and let's look at a little bit more here. Let's see. The galactic brain and cosmic memory. So what do you think these portals are? Like, and we have a 260-day calendar that has 52 portals. And I used to always wonder, where are these portals going? They just going somewhere to maybe something happen? And as I started to dig deeper, I said, wait a second. These portals are going into our mind to access memory, or the membranes, or the memory from the brains, which is in the cerebellum. What do I need to remember? Why is memory so important? Because what if I forgot I was a god? What if I forgot that I was so much more powerful than I am right now? And I just went into my memory and remembered that, and I have a goal that I want to accomplish. And now I see a different image of myself, so I can pursue that goal a lot differently now, knowing I already can accomplish the goal. I already have the brain power and the mind power, and I'm already the being that can accomplish it. And so every time during the Lions Gate portal, we're talking about, at least from a time frame, I always hear different dates, but you know, from the 28th, the 26th to the 28th, some people say the 28th, to the 8th or the 11th time frame of the Gregorian calendar of August. This is when star Sirius is the brightest in the sky and is communicating the most. These are when we should be setting our intentions about abundance. And you'll never be more abundant than what you believe in your mind. What your mind is conditioned to believe is the limit of abundance that will come into your experience. So we have to change our belief system into a knowledge system, and to know that abundance is our birthright. So when we're talking about this memory right now, let's set an intention. Let's set an intention that's far beyond anything that you think that you can attain. Let's set an intention that if you want to prosper financially, let's set an intention that over the next 2 moons, you're going to be able to accomplish what financially? All right, let's take a couple seconds and set that intention. We're going to take 30 seconds and set that intention. Everybody set the intention. Ten seconds. Think about how you want to prosper. Whatever number, if it's a financial number, double it. Double it. And focus on it. All right, stop. All right. Now, a lot of times what happens with being able to focus on a certain income or revenue level or way to prosper financially, it takes solid relationships. Now, you can look at the state of your relationships now, and you can say, can those relationships support the amount of revenue and income that you want to prosper with? And if the answer is no, then we need to upgrade our what we call companions of destiny. So I want you to set another intention that you are right now in this moment, you are attracting all of the different components in terms of people, places, resources, and things that's not only going to help you acquire and prosper financially, but maintain and sustain it over a very long extended period of time. So we're going to take 30 seconds and we're going to also set the intention. All right, 30 seconds. Here we go. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Okay. All right. One more thing that's needed. Wealth, prosperity, and relationships don't matter if we're sick, right? And so let me tell you something. What's really important is that we need to be able to bring death to the false self or anything dealing with sickness, sadness, depression, all those things. We need to bring death to that so that we can bring in, instead of sadness, right, joy, right? Instead of depression, we need to be able to bring in an energy where we are thriving. You see, and so a lot of times we talk a lot about the different things that, you know, are plaguing us or that's triggering us from our past, but we got to put our feelings in check, you know. And I hear a lot of people say, well, I feel like this and I feel like that, and that's fine. But I want you to take it another step in this Lionsgate portal, and I want you to say, I feel like this, but now this is how we're going to feel right now. Right? Because when you raise your frequency, right, you raise your currency. What is currency? The things that show up in your life. So when we raise our frequency, you'll know your feeling, it'll feel different. You'll start to feel it in your heart space. That's the true magnetizer of energy. And so as you start to magnetize your current circumstances and conditions, you'll be able to see, wait a minute, I'm magnetizing something different. It's because you increased your frequency. Your number one objective is to increase your frequency and change how you feel so you can change your life. Don't just say, oh, I feel bad right now. Really? But I am energetic. I am powerful. Immediately after you say, I feel a certain way, you need to come back and say, but I am this, and you'll start to feel different, right? What are you doing? You are increasing your frequency. So you got to tell yourself how to feel, or else your feelings will take you to a place that you cannot prosper, that you will not gain the companions of destiny, and your health will not be at optimal levels. And I'm going to tell you something. There's nobody who's going to listen to this message that if I show you how to be at optimal prosperity levels, optimal levels of companions of destiny, optimal levels of health and well-being, there's nobody that I can even think of in this world that could not advance themselves and accomplish their purpose. So that's why those are the main things that we want to focus on right now. And it goes back into us remembering we already have experienced it. We just have forgotten it. And we're distracted by all these different things going on with politics and different, you know, things that are happening or not happening in our communities. And it gets us focused on that long enough to not pay enough attention to none of that matters if we take our consciousness to higher levels and evolve. Now we have dominion over our circumstances, over the conditions, and we can change them better then than we can in a state of depression. Is that making sense? So this is the type of energy that we need to focus on over in this Lionsgate period. Okay, so for the next 5 days, I'm going to issue a challenge to you, and those of you that want to be in the challenge, I'm going to leave my email so you can be in the challenge, and I'm going to communicate with you to help you restore your prosperity. That prosperity is your birthright, to restore your companions of destiny. Well, I just can't, everybody just seems to be bad. Well, only reason why everybody bad is because you bad. Everybody know good because you know good, because everybody, it's impossible for everybody not to be good. It's impossible, right? So we got to think different. And then if you have an infirmity in your body, if you have some type of degenerative ailment, it's time to allow yourself to be healed so that you now can enjoy this process of becoming. So you now can enjoy the process of you fulfilling your galactic purpose. And if I don't inspire you to do nothing else, those three things, if you continue to focus on and you just have a little bit, a mustard seed of belief, what they say, the faith of a mustard seed can move mountains. Well, they're talking about mountains of your memory. So we'll believe more in the memory of an iPhone than the memory stored in our cerebellum. And it brought us here into a physical form, and we still question it. So now is the time to stop questioning it. Right? Now is the time to take these portals, and we have these significant energy transfers, right? This is the time that we set the intentions so that we can experience something different. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen when you do that. I guarantee you that as soon as you set the intention, the messenger of misery is going to come in and try to remind you of how broke you always have been. It's going to try to remind you of how broken down your health is and your body is. It's going to remind you of how nobody wants to be around with you and nobody wants to work with you. Okay? And so when it does that, right, you ask, is this an absolute truth? And you'll find that your intuition will speak to you and say, no, it's not. And so we're going to bring death to that thought and cross that out and say, I'm moving forward with this intention into its manifestation. And this is the thing you're going to need to do. Willing to become whatever you need to become in order to fulfill that, as long as it's in alignment with universal principles. It's going to grow you up. So sometimes we have things come in our life that make us grow up fast. And sometimes we have things come in our life and we ain't ready to grow up, and it kind of helps tear our life down so that so we can humble ourselves and try to rebuild from there. Right? Let this intention manifest things in your life, and then let it make you become more responsible, more accountable, more diligent, more focused, and you'll ride the wave of the intentions in the Lionsgate memory portal, and you'll be able to say, wait a second, that I couldn't believe it was so simple. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, because these programs are the author of confusion, right? And when we get confused because we have a conflict within ourselves about something, we can't move forward. We can't even get physically fit. Most of us can't even take care of our body. You know, and I know for a fact, I mean, I've been working on mine for 280 days straight. See, anything that you do that you want to be good at, you got to do it every day. You don't got to work out like an Olympian every day, but you got to work on your body. If you walk every day, it may take you 2 years to get fit versus somebody that does more cardiovascular and things of that nature. If you work on your finances every day, you're going to prosper. It's just the mindset in which you need to do it in. So I'm so excited about all of this. And what we do at the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, we take these galactic and lunar cycles and we start following them, and it opens up our mind. It opens up our memory so that it can reflect back to us the image that you already have done this. You don't need to learn this. You're remembering. You know, in the movie The Matrix, in the first Matrix, this movie's gonna be talked about for eon, and it said he's starting to believe. I want you to change it to he or she is starting to remember, starting to put everything back together. Okay? Starting to put everything back together again. And that's how we're going to do this. So we're in the rhythmic storm year of self-generation. Self-generation just means unconditional love for self. We're in the magnetic bat moon of purpose. The bat can see in darkness, right? In the second heptad, where power ripens fruit, or power refines meditation. The question that this moon asks in our cosmology is, what is my purpose? I want you to take a moment and reflect on that and say to yourself, wait a minute, what is my purpose? My purpose is to empower in order to catalyze. That's my purpose, to empower myself and others, and so on and so forth, right? All right. And we are on Celio, the 14th position out of 28. The 28 moon is connected to the heart chakra, right? And so we're on kin number 32, the yellow rhythmic human that states, I organize in order to influence. What do you need to organize so you can influence your finances, so you can influence the right people to come and join you as your companions of destiny? Those are people that support your purpose. What can you do to influence your body to be healthy over being ill? Balancing wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by the process of free will, my own power doubled. I organize in order to influence. Balancing wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the rhythmic tone of equality. You know, equality is equals. That means everything is equal. It's a level playing field. So that means any equation that you can figure out, or any equation you can come up with, you got the answer to. That's equality. I am guided by the process of free will, my own power double. One more time to lock it in. I organize in order to influence. Balancing wisdom. I seal the process of free will with the rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by the process of free will, my own power doubled. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. So I want you to master these 5 areas. This is what you want to do over the next 5 days, right? Remembrance, discipline, exertion, patience, and compassion. The next 5 days, I want you to look up the word remembrance, day 1. Look up discipline, day 2. Look up exertion, day 3. Patience, day 4. And compassion, day 5. And see how you can better yourself in these areas while this Lionsgate portal is open. That's what I want you to do. Okay? And so in being able to do so, you also will be able to understand and overstand. You'll be positioning yourself to ride the wave of these frequencies that equal currency. See, the universe and the galaxy already got it figured out. It knows that frequency equals currency. That's why all these planets keep moving. That's why there's these sunspots on the sun, et cetera, right? All right. So before I do that, I want to actually do this. All right. I want to talk a little bit about the sunspots, and we have one of our esteemed assistant instructors and teachers in her own right, Alcione Frederick. She does what we call the news reflection, and we talk about the effect of active sunspots. So back in 8.3, according to the law of time, sunspots and its processes, now we're talking about the communication between our sun, these planets, and star Sirius. The solar flares and coronal mass ejections are carriers of information from different star systems. And we sitting up here saying, whoa, wait a second. How is that so? And it communicates through plasma. The plasma in your corpus callosum, it has the ability to go through the plasma of the cerebral spinal fluid, into the plasma of your chakras, into your plasma of the blood. They affect electromagnetic fields, creating a mental quickening or shifts in consciousness. Changes in the sun directly affect our biology and our consciousness. So now that we know that we can use the sun as a catalyzer and as a conduit to help us connect with these other energies in what we think is space, but which is in our mind of consciousness, now we can all know the plasma, the etymology of plasma, something modeled or created. Liquid, I call it semi-liquid electricity, right? And now we are able to magnetize electric and ionic gas. And it's not only is it ether, but it's in the sun, it's in the star Sirius, it's in the stars, and it's in our brain, and it's in our body, plasma. And this is how all these different bodies communicate with us. Now we go through specifically how it happens in the Synchronistic School of Enlightenment. But imagine if you had the science behind how it all worked, and you were able to construct or reconstruct a version of yourself that was not depressed, that was not in fear, that was not in a state of pride, and it could be in a state of unconditional love and live your life, the best life that you could ever live on this planet or any other planet in its star systems. Okay? Very, 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 very powerful. And so when we look at July, for those who follow the Gregorian calendar, it was the highest recorded sunspots in solar cycle 25, right? So this has been a cycle that's been going on for a few years. And guess what? Right before all this energy been coming at us, right before we go into this memory portal, we call it the Lion's Gate. And the Lion's Gate ain't going to do nothing for you that you can't do for yourself. So if you're not aware of your power and you got this big Lion's Gate portal that comes and it just comes and goes. But if you know who you are and you understand the power that you have to receive the language of the light from the sun and the stars and all of the different galaxies as you are accessing your brain to operate this body, what can't you do? Is the question. What can't you do? And so when you take plasma and radioplasma and from the gas and the planetary time, the fourth dimension, this is why we teach on the fourth dimension, and you take it with the blood, it equals changes in your DNA. And this is how the transfer happens, and it's been happening. As above, so below. We are a microcosm of the macrocosm. And in holonomics, or the law of holonomy, as we talked about earlier, we are systems inside of larger systems energetically. The Earth is just another version of us as a body. The galaxy is just another version of the Earth. And they're all showing us and communicating with us the infinite mind wave, or infinitum in terms of where we can actually go with this mind. Okay? So this is the power of what we are. And in this cycle, we are moving into self-generating. We are catalyzing energy, and we also are organizing and balancing ourselves with our emotional intelligence so we don't get out of whack. The way the storm does not have you turned up all upside down, you got to stay in the center of the storm, the eye of the storm. Lion's Gate portal, let's close with this. The Lion's Gate portal refers to the period of days before and after, from July 28th until August 12th, when the power of Sirius is believed, watch this, to be activated by the sun. What? Right? We're sun gods, right? On August 8, right? The sun, Sirius, the brightest star in the sky, Sirius. So it's Sirius, ain't it? Orion and Earth completely aligned with each other. To the ancient Egyptians, Sirius was seen as the embodiment of the agricultural goddess Sapet, right? And connected to the annual rising and flooding of the Nile, responsible for their survival. Ancient astrologers noted that Sirius seemed to take on characteristics of two fiery planets, Jupiter and Mars. With these powers combined, Sirius became known as a particularly auspicious. Jupiter is the planet of luck. When preparation meets opportunity, that's our luck, right? Miracles, expansion, and growth believed to bring forth prosperity. We talked about prosperity, happiness, fortune, wealth, and wisdom. It governs the sixth circuit of the mind, the hollow mind, the whole mind, that we call the hollow mind perceiver, of creative flowering. So when this energy comes to you, get to creating, which coordinates the cosmic consciousness of the sixth dimension, the light body, and the ESP information, the kin archetypes. All right. The yellow seed, which helps flowering and targeted awareness, and the vision of the blue eagle. Last thing, Mars is the planet of action. So you got to take action. You just can't rest on your laurels. Take action, competition, conquest, passion, desire, and energy. This is why taking action while it is aligned, these planets, right? While it is in aligned and is thought to help one achieve their goals, imbued with the luck of Jupiter and the courage of Mars. Is this some powerful stuff or is this some powerful stuff? So what you gonna do? We just told you everything is lined up for you to set your intentions. So this ain't the time to say, all right, let me go see what's on TikTok. This is the time to sit in silence. This is the time to be able to set your intentions. And this is the time maybe to watch this replay so you can win like you never won before. The vision statement I want to share before we go is to transcend our minds deep into our cosmic memory circuits as we awaken from a deep state of amnesia in order to move from the information age into the telepathic age of our existence and establish a new world of highly successful, highly telepathic, highly intuitive beings. Let's do this together. If I could get somebody to put my email in the chat, email me if you want to be in the 5-day challenge where we're going to work on the virtues and prepare you to be able to not just have this happen once, but to sustain it and happen over and over and over. The fact is, I want you to remember that evolution is the solution. It's been my pleasure sharing this with you. I trust and hope that you got something solid out of this, that you inspired in some way to at least raise your frequency, to raise your currency or your current circumstances, so you can be, know, do, and have whatever your heart desires. With that being said, in Lakesh, I am another you. Allah King, you are another me. Hotep, Hetepu, and Namaste. And don't you forget, evolution is the solution. I look forward to your emails. Inbox me if you have questions. Let's all evolve together into this Lionsgate portal, memory portal, and remember who we are. Peace.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies